States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Please come to order. We do have proof of posting in accordance with Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code as amended notice of the Texas Open Meetings Act. This time, any members of the public who wish to speak shall have 5 minutes. If none, we'll go to item number 1, to approve the minutes of the January 9th regular meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes. Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None, motion carried. Item number 2, budget transfers and amendments.
There's not any, Judge.
Item 3 is approve and pay bills.
page one, Parks and Wildlife. Are all those over 4 different, is that the game warden, McMillan, Wire, Woolley, and King?
That's the person.
Yes,
That's
yes.
the game warden, or
That is
supposed
the game warden.
we got 4 different game wardens, they all got a JP1. Were those citations given JP1 or in precinct 1?
The JP1 is the one that wrote them up.
I know, but that game warden has to send them to somebody. Were all those citations that they give, didn't
They
they?
gave it to them, yes. Mhm. I
Yeah,
don't know
precinct.
what area, but I mean, I know that Teresa wrote them up.
I know, we got 4
You don't
different.
have anything,
I don't
what
have
she
any,
gives to you
yes.
to tell you where the offense occurred,
No.
is that right?
Well, it sounds funny, 4 different game wardens, they're all in precinct 1.
I know a lot of them are done out at the state park, and that is in precinct 1.
Where all those game wardens from? I know that too.
They have some coming from wherever to help fill in, from what I was told. I wasn't saying.
Yeah, they can kind of drift back and forth depending, I know, opening weekend of deer season, we had some Navarro County game wards come. So I don't know exactly when those citations were, but you may have some drifters coming in
All in December.
from other counties. I'm not sure, you know, what, depending on operation and what they're looking at and kind of
Yeah.
task force wise, you may get some different names on there.
So they don't have to carry them to the precinct that the offense occurred in, to that JP?
That's kind of been seemingly been a local rule here. At least when I came in, that seemed to be what was happening, but I know some counties do it that way and some don't. They can send it to whatever precinct that the officer wants to send it to. But like I said, I've never had that conversation with anybody, but seemingly when I came into office, it seems to be the local rule with law enforcement, they're sending the citations to the precinct where the offense occurred at.
And I wasn't aware that, Jeannie was telling me that Ware is the park ranger, so he's in there every month. So I'm sure he's out.
He's on the receipts that are attached to this, like one of them says alcohol in the state park. One of them says fail to register at the kiosk. So I believe these were all done at the state park.
Well, that means you're all in the same precinct 1.
Mhm.
And that is in
Kind of funny,
precinct
all 4
1.
different ones. Does that pertain to highway trouble or the tickets in the precinct?
Yes.
What now?
That they can send it to whatever precinct they want to send it to. But it seems like Freestone County operates where they send it to the precinct where the offense occurred at.
And it looks like on all of these that they all did occur at the state park, because one was for not enough, life vest, not registering when they drove in. So I believe all these were in precinct 1.
There has been an offense, as I understand it, in my precinct that was taken to another JP by Texas Park and Wildlife.
I guess as long as it don't get me and Andy, it'll be all right.
Look for it to be you and Andy and me and Mike. And you.
As long as you give it to my precinct, it'll be all right.
And like I said, that's, just to be very clear, I've never had that conversation with law enforcement. They write their citations, a lot of times we don't talk to them about citations, right? We're dealing with Class C offenses. So if there's something I need to look into, you just let me know and I can have those conversations. Those citations kind of flow without my hand involved in them until there's a dispute at the JP level, then we get involved to go in and resolve that dispute.
All right, anything else?
Make a motion to pay the bill.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Motion carried. Item number 4 is approved payroll.
Judge Grant, there is just on the payroll, there's just something I was wanting to point out that was a little different this time. Back last Wednesday after Commissioner's Court, TAC come in and did an HR assessment on me in my office, since I'm coming in new. And one of the 207K come up, which is where law enforcement, is the rule that law enforcement and firefighters fall under. Due to an error on our part of covering the jail administrator under that and that person not having a license, we had to go back and figure out some comp time hours that she was due. And so I've made a little note on there for y'all showing that we had to put 123 comp hours back on the books. I've gotten with Jeremy, and he's gotten with that staff, and we've made sure that they were okay with what we come up with as far as the number of hours. They've agreed, they signed off on it. So I believe as far as an HR standpoint, we are good to go with that, and it's on the books.
So are we paying them, or are we putting it back on the books, or what are we doing?
Comp hours go back on the books unless it would have went over 240, and then we would have had to pay anything out over the 240, but it didn't go over the 240, so right now it is on the books.
And I don't want, all the blame ain't hers, it falls on me as well, because our jail administrator does not work in the jail. Our jail administrator's never worked in the jail. And I was confused on the, well, actually, I was dealing with T-Code, which is what I normally do as a peace officer, is deal with T-Code, when I should have went with the jail commission on what their thought process was and the law that they had. And so she has to be licensed, even as a jail administrator, even though she doesn't work in the jail, because she supervises. So I've contacted the jail commission, I've advised them what's going on, and we have put her off until we can get all that situated. So she's no longer in our office working at this time. We will, until we can get it straightened out and some people moved, try to get some people moved into new positions to where that's not an issue. And as of right now, I'll be the jail admin anyway. She does what I tell her to do anyway, so I'll just be telling them directly.
But she still works for you, correct?
Yes, she's still here.
She's not in there.
Yes, we've got to get her licensed and taken care of, but right now, because she can't supervise the jail without a license, then she's using some of the time that she's accrued, and she's going to take off, and we're going to try to get it all taken care of, and some people switched around where we can keep going.
Is that one of those positions that we raise the salary on whenever you did that salary adjustment thing? Was it the jail administrator one that we raised the salary on?
Yes.
So she's been receiving that salary, although she wasn't certified to do the job.
Yes, she's the third one that's been in that salary. She's the third person that's been in that salary. I've had 3 jail administrators since I took over.
And she started
Just
in,
let me add that the other ones did have their license, so they were
Oh, yes.
certified, so this
Yes.
is, and we didn't have to go back and pay them anything, they were under the 207K.
Just an
like
oversight that we didn't realize you didn't have a license, that's all it is.
It's an oversight on my part, because T. Cole said I could designate anybody as a jail administrator. That's what it said prior to the change in 2017 or whenever it was. And so instead of, that's the only place I looked. That's the only place I looked up. She didn't work in the jail, so I didn't figure she had to have a jailer's license. But the jail commission, obviously when we talked about it, I contacted the jail commission, advised them what was going on, basically self-reported what had been happening, and they advised that, okay, well, obviously she can't be a jail administrator for you, she has to have a license, so you're gonna have to make changes, which we did immediately. So
How long has she been jail administrator without license?
Since December 3rd of 2017.
Any other discussion on the payroll changes?
so the plan of correction is to just 100 and something hours where she has, is to get that office. I mean, she gonna be able to get that also, we don't have to pay her in county funds.
Yes.
She'll be able to take that time off.
Yeah, she can take that. She's using that time right now while we get it all straightened out.
And she's getting paid right now.
Yeah,
She's using her comp.
off for comp time.
Using up her comp time.
approve payroll, unless there's some more discussion.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Opposed? Okay, what are we, let's have some more discussion. What are we opposed?
I just think we've been paying somebody that's in that position and not qualified. I mean, we're now gonna continue to pay them, I guess, at that same, this 123 hours, are we paying them at that amount? At what their salary was, or we paying them what their salary is now?
The way comp time works here at Freestone County is we put that on the book, so as of right now, we're not paying anybody. The only way we would pay her is if she left the employment of Freestone County, and then we would pay that out at the salary she is at now, yes.
I'm saying if she's home now on comp time, she's getting paid a certain dollar amount.
That is correct.
Is that the dollar amount that she was getting paid when she was in that position? Or is that the dollar amount that she's been moved to a position that she's getting paid for?
Right now, I'm only aware that she is the jail administrator, so as far as this payroll, she's paid as the jail administrator and that's salary.
That's what I'm opposed to, so I'm still.
Well, this payroll does not have that, any comp time being paid for this payroll. So that would be a discussion, I guess, for our next payroll, when she is going to be paid comp time. Just saying.
I'm still voting
Okay,
to spend.
okay, all right.
So what would you say, what are you saying the solution, what do you think we should do?
See, the comp
So,
time
you know, that's just-
starting.
Yeah, I mean, considering somebody's gonna be making that money anyway,
Right.
I mean, it's,
I voted, you got to vote for
Okay. Is that something we want to put on the agenda for further discussion, or are we, I mean, all right, let's go back. As to the payroll, this payroll is far past time that we've already worked, is that correct?
Yes,
Don't
it
pay the
ranges
advance.
from, on the top of your sheet there, it shows the pay period is December the 30th through January the 12th. Now, let me add to this that as soon as we found it out, we made sure she's on the 40-hour week this time. And so she's still getting her jail administrator pay as far as, we
Right.
haven't seen anything
But
different, but
what we're voting on right now is for past payroll, and so I vote yes. Bruce, okay. Now go to reports. We have an October report. For Debbie Hamilton. A November report. December report. 3 reports from JP2. Vacation and sick leave. Report. Any other reports?
yes, ma'am. This is our 2018 summary of statistics for our office here in the county. Our dispatchers handled 12,450 total calls for service, and that involves the sheriff's office, the TPD, Wortham PD, Fairfield PD, the fire departments, DPS, and EMS. The dispatchers received 16,727 total emergency 911 calls. Deputies completed 433 written reports. 160 of those were considered major crimes by the state of Texas, which is your homicide, rape, robbery, assault, burglary, theft, and vehicle theft. Of the 160 major crimes reported, 84 were closed. That's a 53% closure rate, which is really, really good. state average, I think, on that is 27,000, with counties under 25,000 population, so, good job by investigations, and the guys on the street. Deputies made 454 arrests, initiated 546 traffic stops, our office received 928 civil papers, and served 644 of those. Jailers booked in 800 subjects and booked out 821. Jail population averaged 28 inmates per day here, while the average out of county inmates was 31. So that's our numbers for
What was that last one?
2018.
You said average what?
Our average numbers here housed in county were 28, and our average out of county was 31.
Okay, and that's for what period?
That's from January to just through December
For last year.
for 2018. In 2017, I think our numbers were 33 here and 34 there.
Do you have a copy of that report you want to
Yes.
give to the auditor, to the clerk?
How many prisoners our jail hold?
It holds, well, it'll hold 42,
42?
yes.
The 44 bed, but it'll.
There's 43 beds, but one's completely shut down.
So we only, and your report says we averaged 28 last year?
Mhm.
Why would we not increase that number?
Because of medical and mental,
Medical and mental.
yes.
And when you speak of medical, what type of medical is that? Is that?
Like where they need a nurse, or like we're dealing with issues that we don't have safe cells in our jail. We don't have places where we can put people that can get a nurse immediately like Limestone County does. So we try to keep those people over there so we don't have the issue of going to the hospital every time we turn around with somebody, sitting at the hospital, and things like that. They got immediate access to a nurse there in Limestone. We're not talking about headaches, we're talking medical, stuff.
So half of our people are in Groesbeck, correct?
Overhead?
Yes.
Half of the people.
That's normal.
But I would be curious to, how much money are we spending a year to house them in Groesbeck? I would like to have that total.
I can go get it for
Not
you.
right now.
But-
Today. I'd just like to
But
have
it has went down, I noticed this last
It's
bill,
down
we got
a
it a lot, I mean, it's
Our
like
jail
half.
numbers are down a lot too, though, our total jail numbers are down.
So it was running, 40-something thousand dollars a month, and now I think it's like 19 or 20, this last month that we paid, so it's down a lot.
Let's do it.
I can get it for you.
Judge Grant, I added to our mandated providers, but I wasn't sure if I can do this during the report or we'll need to hold it for next time.
I think we need to probably make an agenda item out of that to add one, since it's kind of like a contract.
Okay,
item
thank
to
you.
approve. Burn ban?
Do we need to vote, Judge?
Oh, yeah. We have a motion to accept the reports.
Make that motion.
I second.
All in favor, aye. Any opposed? None, motion carried. Burn ban? If there's nothing, we'll go to item number 7, special road use agreements. If nothing, we'll go to item number 8, to approve bonds and education certificates. Okay. Don't have any bonds or education certificates.
There's a surety bond in there on, Bill Madden. Who's making who's here?
I have a $5,000 surety bond on Chief Deputy Constable Precinct 1. I have a rider for JP 2. Which changed only the description of that bond. Certificate of course completion from Linda Jarvis for Paternity Opportunity Program. What else else? Do we have anything else? If not, do we have a motion to approve these?
I make a motion that we approve.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 8, that was item number 8. Item number 9, to consider adopting a project agreement for 2019-2020 community development block grant between Freestone County and Butler Water Supply. You want to say anything about this project?
Well, yeah, actually, the commissioners, I'm just here in support.
Okay.
Primary, you have the agreement probably before you, and it's a standard agreement that's normally between the county, TDA, that's Texas Department of Agriculture, and also Butler Water Corporation. So we agreed to the agreement. We've already set aside our portions of the funding, and we do understand that if the project exceeds the granted amount, and we want to continue with it without alterations of the project, that Butler Water would have to come up with the remaining funds. We thank y'all for being in there. All the other formalities and forms and agreements, contracts with consultant agents, we've already presented those. Y'all have already committed to it, and the project is just about packaged to be submitted for grant approvals.
And since this is the actual, I didn't think about this, but the actual grant agreement is with the Community Development Block Grant Program. Do we need a $12.95 with this? That's a federal program, but
I'll need to check on it. I hadn't even seen
Make a
it,
motion
so
to
I don't.
adopt this project agreement.
I-
I need to vote on that?
Well,
we've actually
We had one whenever Miranda Harris was here.
We've approved all of the first part of it. This is just another part of that community development block grant.
I thought we had a $12.95 when she was here, when she came to do the presentation for it.
I do too.
Okay.
Commissioner, Judge, we presented the project itself for the county to be the sponsor of the project, which was agreed. And also, this is just, agreement is just kind of the ramifications of what each party's responsibility is. And that's to go ahead to administer the project. In other words, it's saying that Butler Water will be responsible for overseeing the project, for resuming responsibilities of it once it's completed, and also providing the funds. The administration part is done by the county because everything channeled through the county. The county has to administrate.
And there's no problem at all with the project itself. It's just whether this agreement has to have another little form attached to it.
I understand. I was
No problem at all.
just trying to add some clarity for
Yes.
the commissioners that may not understand.
You know, we've been doing this for several years, but there's been a change on requiring a Form 1295.
That's correct.
I don't know, so that's why I'm asking the auditor if we have to have one on this.
well, this is an agreement between the Commissioners Court and the Butler Water Supply Corporation.
Which is a 501C's, well, maybe nonprofit. I don't know. Well, what do you think? If we have to have one, I didn't think about that,
Because with the fire departments, when they did those contracts, it's the same, falls under the same.
All right. Do we need to table this to the next meeting to approve and get it
$12.95 on the Butler Water Supply Corporation for this agreement.
Okay, all right.
Do y'all need anything from Miranda to
We'll
respond?
call her and.
I can send her if I have an email address, I can send her the whole instructions with a link and everything. That way she can just go on and fill it out and send it to us.
Let's talk to her and see if actually this one would qualify.
Okay.
Man, I need it.
We may not, because we've already approved the other that had the $12.95 with it. Let's look at it. You look
Okay.
at it and see what you have to have, and then we'll have it. If we need it, we'll get it through her
That's fine.
and have it on the next one to approve. Perfect. I didn't, sorry about that. All right. So I'm gonna put table on this. We had a motion, did we have a second already?
Mhm.
Okay. Would we all like to withdraw that?
I guess so.
Okay. All right.
Judge,
So let's have, yes.
I'm not sure if there's any time restraints on this, because like I said, it'll be another month prior to y'all reviewing it. But that's something I would like for y'all to check out to make sure. I will talk to her as well.
Okay.
And we'll see if it's something that we make a do, if it is. If it's not, then it's no problem. But if there's a time
It'll be
restraint.
next week. We'll approve it next week.
Oh,
We
okay.
having a meeting next week?
We may have that.
That's what I'm
I
getting
tell you
at.
what, let's do.
That's what
Let's
I'm
go on
getting
and do this last one, and then we'll take a short break and see if we can find out and get it done today.
I don't know, all we can approve it right now prior to, and then
Contingent on her getting the.
we've done that before on other things.
Or subject to.
Yeah, subject to getting
Approve it today if that goes through,
If we
then you're done with it.
Man, I need it.
If you don't need it, you don't have it, but you gotta approve it today while we're here.
make a motion.
I done made it.
Just, I mean, if it's contingent upon whether we need it or not, I mean,
Yeah.
at least that.
You know we can get it. That's not the issue.
Right.
We know we can get the $12.95.
Right.
It's just- All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye?
Uh,
Any opposed? None. Motion carried.
Do we need to withdraw the one
We did. I asked you, and you said yes. So now we made a new motion, and it's
That's
approved.
fine.
You're good.
Okay, good.
Thank you. Item number 10, consider appointment of courthouse representative for the Freestone County Sick Leave Pool. We did have a member out of your office. Would you think Chris would agree to do it?
I make a motion to appoint Chris.
All right.
Second.
All in favor, aye? Motion carried. All right, do we have any comments? She should have stayed.
You go to step school, I need to talk to her.
Emergency management.
Only if there's a chemical spill or something that would be under your direction.
So when we have people out there for 2 or 3 hours, do we kind of try to assist those people, maybe water or something? I'm just curious how that
The
works.
sheriff can answer that better.
Yeah, I was talking about the emergency management, when we have the interstate shut down like we have had this morning. Do the emergency management go out to assist those people? Maybe some might run out of gas, some might need water, and when they're sitting out there for about 2 or 3 hours, that's a long time.
Yeah, we've had them set up every second, yeah.
Okay. What do we do with the emergency management? What do they get involved in that when they sit that long?
Well, we've had, I mean, I know what we've done when we've been out there, if it's our scene, we've gone out and I've called the churches and stuff, and they brought water and passed out water down the line if anybody needed it. Gas, they normally call us if they run out of gas, so.
But if there's a chemical spill or something, then the emergency management person might come. But
Yeah,
not
he's
this
the one,
far off.
yeah, your emergency management, person has all the contact numbers and is in charge of trying, that's one of their jobs, is to get whatever resources are necessary for that, for them sitting out there.
Who contacts and lets them know that there's been something happening? Is that something done by dispatch or?
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Yeah,
It's gonna be hard, it's gonna be hard for the emergency management person to do his job if you're not contacting until there's a problem.
That's right.
Yeah.
sounds like emergency management needs radio. I mean, that's what we got, we know what we're needing.
I'm just saying, we need to figure out how to get him in the loop, that when we have the interstate shut down.
I agree with that.
I think he still needs to know, even if it's for an hour or 2 hours, he still needs to know that the interstate have been shut down for an hour or 2 hours, and then he can make the judgment call if he need to be more involved out there or not. I'm just saying, I would hate to know I was sitting out there 7 hours.
And what about using the text message feature that we have? I mean, if the interstate shut down for a couple of hours, people don't know, they're fixing to head out and get on the interstate, but if a text message had been sent out, hey, the interstate shut down, approximately gonna be another 4 to 5 hours.
No.
I mean, is that something that we could utilize, is that countywide text message feature that we have?
I thought that was for emergency, I don't know if they would consider an emergency,
Well, is it a text
but
message?
it's a good idea.
Is it a text message or
It's
is it talking?
it's the.
It's a mass text.
Yeah, it's that mass,
It's emergency notification.
Correct,
system.
yes, ma'am.
I don't think it has a text feature that I'm.
Yeah, I
aware
get it
of.
on my phone as a text message.
Okay.
Hotco puts it up for tornadoes, stuff like that. If you signed up, if you signed up on their website, if there's a tornado warning, you'll receive a text message and an email.
Okay.
But that means that each individual needs to go on their website and sign up to
But
receive
as
those
far as us
messages.
Putting something on our emergency notification system, it would not send out a text message, would it?
Not to my
I'm not
knowledge.
aware that we have that capability with that, but I'll certainly check into that with him. And that, you know, you just focus on a certain area and it's a call out is what it is. But I'll check on the text part.
but also too, like today, that's city, that's not county.
That's the city, I don't understand, but that's outside of the city though. The record
Well-
is outside of the city.
The what?
The record, that's not inside the city limit.
The
Where the
190
trucks had the record out there on 75? Is that outside the city
On
limit?
190, at the 196 on the interstate, that's city.
Oh, I thought it was farther down than that.
No, they have one at the,
They had
oh, the
two.
one at Duke,
Yeah,
that was earlier this morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
okay, yeah, that's still somewhat shut down out there. Well, when I went across there at 8
Oh,
o'clock.
yeah,
it was
it was shut down
Yeah,
for a long time.
yeah, that's the one I'm talking about, not the one here in the city.
Yeah, that just added to the problem.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I don't know if you guys know that, but it's a major problem out there. But I think they pretty much got it cleared up.
Yes.
now.
Yeah, before we came up here, they were opening it up, so.
Any other comments? Not, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Or we have a meeting next week or not?
We do need to talk about that. Do we have payroll? Do we have bills?
We do not have payroll next week.
No payroll, no bills, no meeting. Okay. One of you. I mean, unless y'all want to meet now. If y'all want to meet, we'll meet.
Hey, sir, I'm Devin.
Go ahead, Brian.
Nice to meet you, sir.
That's in.